Shaman is back on my channel with Confession. It's a song, very poignant song, very deep, meaningful song, written and performed by Shaman himself. I'm going to give you a little bit about the singer himself. And he is from Russia, better known by his stage name, because he is Yaroslav Yarovich Dronov, better known as Shaman. He's a Russian singer, songwriter, and music producer. He's well known for producing pop and rock music, its style mixes, which you'll see today in this particular video, to contemporary music, ethnic singing, and unique vocal techniques. For me, he has one of the best male vocals in the world. And with Confession, he proves the high octaves he can reach. But what is effective about his voice is that when Shaman hits those high notes, he's dramatizing effectively a word or a situation, both in the lyrics and the video itself, to go deep inside you, that it just ignites your soul. And that's where you get this woof feeling from when you listen to his voice. It's got great depth, great vocal range. And he was voted by a poll in the Russian Public Opinion Research Center as the best Russian singer of 2022, but he came second. Well, in my opinion, he's number one. And thank you for all the wonderful comments to my last reaction of a Shaman song that I had done. Now, I forget the name and the title of it, but I got some extraordinary comments saying that, wow, somebody understands what this artist is all about. I try to. And just like this, because I'm translating from Russian to English, you have to understand that I do my best in getting everything right. If I get some things wrong, then you, the fans, will put in the comments, this is what it really meant, not this. But I can only give you my best interpretation. And so far, the fans of Shaman have been very kind to me. Now, Shaman today is singing Confession. What is this song about? Well, I've made a synopsis, and I've also found out on Genius Lyrics, thank you, what the song is about from Shaman's point of view. Now, Confession, he says, is a dialogue with God. The dialogue specifically and frankly sings about what is on the soul of the performer. In the song, this artist shares his experiences in turning to the God and asking for strength to bear your cross and not fall in life when difficulties arise. Now, after studying the lyrics, I'm going to give you what I feel the song's about as well. I feel it's a deeply introspective and emotional song, and it delves into the themes of perseverance, self-discovery, and unconditional love. And the lyrics express a heartfelt plea to the higher power, possibly referencing God, for strength and guidance in navigating those challenges in life that we all experience. And in today's world, I have to say those challenges are greater than any time before. It really is. Everybody in the world is suffering on some level. Everybody. We all share that universally. And let's hope the world is healed and becomes a better place, and that those turning to God, we have our prayers answered by the world becoming a more peaceful, loving, forgiving, and enjoyable place to live once again. But not take away from what the song's about. It delves into perseverance, self-discovery, and unconditional love, and that heartfelt plea to God to guide them through those difficulties that they're experiencing on those levels. Let's listen to the song and come back, and I shall confess to you what I think the lyrics are about. Oh, it does have English subtitles.
Дай, попросил я у Бога, дай мне жизни осилить дорогу, дай мне, дай все преграды разрушить, дай не продать свою душу и мне уйти, если нужно, дай мне, дай мне дышать и верить и с раненым сердцем, дай мне нести свой тяжкий крест и не падать, дай мне это все пережить и до смерти любить, слышишь, дай мне, дай не ослепнуть от боли, дай мне просто остаться собою, дай мне, дай словно птице свободу, дай мне понять, чего стою, и два крыла за спиною, дай мне дышать и верить и с раненым сердцем, дай мне нести свой тяжкий крест и не падать, дай мне это все пережить и до смерти любить, слышишь, дай мне. А знаешь, когда я падал, когда я оставался совсем один, я всегда поднимал голову вверх и видел, как ты смотришь на меня и улыбаешься. Я знаю, ты всегда со мной рядом. Дай мне это все пережить и до смерти любить, слышишь, дай мне, дай мне.
Wow, that is so powerful. And if you noticed in the video, the isolation, it's the video when it's white snow and you've got those symbolic images of the artist walking through barren places, I almost feel straight away he's in a barren place, and it reflects what I thought before I played the video, which is overcoming that perseverance, overcoming the challenges in life, overcoming what mentally makes you ill and physically has that effect. When you're mentally ill, you're physically affected. So it's a very deep song. Even though it's short, there's a lot of powerful images in that video. The cutting of the hair, for example, I'll come to that either during when I'm explaining the lyrics or after. But this is my synopsis of what we've just seen. In the first verse, the singer humbly asks God for the ability to overcome the obstacles on their path, because I'm just going to go up to the lyrics, bear with me. Verse 1 says, "Allow me, I ask the Lord, allow me to cope with the path of life, to break down the barriers, to not sell my soul, and to depart if I need to. Allow me this." Well, when it comes to that particular verse, they yearn, I'm going to say Shaman instead of referencing as us, they, because it's better just to keep to the artist and the singer and the lyrics. So Shaman yearns to have the strength, I feel, to demolish all the barriers blocking their way, to avoid compromising their own value and principles, because the repeated line, "Give me," emphasizes their desperation and the importance they place on these requests. So it's an opening of the video and there's requests being made there. The chorus, allow me to breathe and keep my faith, it says, with a wounded heart, to carry my heavy cross and not fall, to live through all of this, and to love until my death. Can you hear me? Allow me this. It goes into verse 2. Let me not go blind from the pain. Let me simply be myself. Let me be as free as a bird. Let me understand my worth. With 2 wings on my back, allow me this. And the chorus ties up verse 2 and it says, allow me to breathe and keep my faith with a wounded heart, to carry my heavy cross and not fall, to live through all of this, and to love until my death. Can you hear me? Allow me this. Well, that is the need for resilience and clarity amidst the pain. That's what that's all about. Shaman asks not to be blinded by his suffering, but instead desiring to remain true to himself. He longs for freedom like a bird, everyone. Symbolizing that yearning for liberation from expectations and a deeper understanding of their own worth. That's what that's about. Wanting to know their own worth. As they carry the cross, what is life about? What am I about? What troubles me? How can I get over this? It's the balancing act, everybody, in life we all go through. Some people call it the yin, the yang. And they mention of having 2 wings on their back, suggesting, for me, that's symbolic of a desire for personal growth and transcendence from that barren place that you saw in the video to a place where you are almost walking on the clouds because you rose above it, if that makes sense. So once again, the chorus reinforces that and Shaman's plea for strength, for fortitude, and the ability to endure whatever challenges comes his way. That repetition in the chorus echoes their desperate longing for these qualities. Now it goes into the interlude. You know, when I fell, when I was left completely alone, I've always raised my head up high, he says, and seen how you look at me and smile. I know you were always beside me. Now we say it's a godly feeling and the video and the lyrics, but maybe he's also referencing a loved one that has passed to the spiritual world. I know that when I think of my mother, I get comfort. So maybe he's getting comfort not just through God, but also through a loved one that's passed. I'm not saying before everybody starts shouting at me, Shaman's mother's alive and well. I'm just saying a loved one in the spirit world that gives him comfort. Equally, for years when I was a child, my mother's father, whom I never met, my grandfather on my mother's side, died many, many years ago, and I never got to meet him. And when my mother was young, he died actually, and none of us got to meet him as my siblings or I. But I always felt a great energy when I thought of him, and a presence that he was around me. I really did. And then when my mother died, it transcended to, I felt a loss when my mother died, not just with her, that feeling I was getting was gone. And then my mother took over spiritually. So maybe Shaman is in a way also seeking guidance and to lift this heavy cross through life through a loved one spiritually who has passed away. A lot of us do that. And then the chorus says, allow me to live through all of this and to love until my death. And that is because hatred pollutes and poisons the mind. And love conquers all. It's an old saying, everybody. I'm sure even in Russia you have that. Or you can write in the comments a similar saying. But love does conquer all. And if you feel love, want to give love, want to overcome things through the love of God, through the love of the Spirit One, through darkened times, it can be done. Because what you're doing is turning the negatives into positives and believing that instead of believing I cannot, believing you can. Because you want to empower yourself with the love and what's been passed on to you by your parents and grandparents of being strong and empowering yourself with love. And it's a wonderful thing to do, everybody. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect life or anybody else to love you? Just remember that. And he says, can you hear me? Allow me this. That is carrying a bittersweet note, everybody. Where Shaman's requesting the ability to experience everything that life has to offer, including the experience of love and death. The repetition, and I can't say the saying in Russian, but I'm going to try and get it just here in English. Can you hear me? Allow me this. And allow me. Can you hear me? Allow me this. I just feel that expresses his intensity and urgency of his plea, as if he's demanding the attention of the listener to whom he's asking of this higher power to concentrate on what he has to say and forget about everything else. Overall, confession encapsulates a universal theme. Everybody, listen to this, of searching the meaning and strength in difficult times. We all do. We all seek it. It explores that human desire for resilient self-realization and the unwavering capacity to still, through your trials, tribulations, carrying the cross, all of it, to love. Through its introspective, the video, the lyrics, and emotionally charged lyrics they are, the song invites us, the listeners, to reflect on our own personal journeys and the power of faith. Whether you believe in God or not, we all have a faith. Some light candles, some believe in the spirit world, some believe in nature. We have a faith. And that's those lyrics, this song, from this song and the video and all of it, ask us to reflect on that faith and the unconditional love in overcoming any challenge that comes our way in life. That love does conquer all. That's what the song's about in my view. I hope you've all enjoyed my interpretation. Thank you for listening. And Shaman, I'm trying to say it properly. I did go to Google Translate and hit in Russian Shaman, which I would say normally, and when I hit the Russian it said shaman. So if you know how to break it up properly in the lyrics, I will say the name shaman or shaman. You tell me which is correct, because I want to get it correct. He's such a great artist. He deserves even me doing that for him. Thanks for listening. Bye.